Hello and welcome to the short Vort on Parshas Bamidbar and Shavuos. In this week's Parsha, in Perek Daled, Pasuk Beis, and in Pasuk Gimel, it talks there about counting the Leviim for their service in the Ohel Moed, and that they're supposed to count those from the ages of 30 and 50. Rashi says the reason why it's this 20-year age range is because it's avodas masa. The service they do for this is the physical labor. And as a Levy, a friend of mine, told me that after 50, they still can sing the Shira, they can do this, they can sing the songs in the holy sanctuaries. But it's the labor part that they no longer do. And that's what the mission of the Pirkei Avos says, that ben shloshim lekoach, that is 30 is when the person hits its peak strength. So that's why we start at 30, and then by the time they're 50, they're starting to get a little bit more slowed down. And that's why this peak range of work for the Levium is from 30 to 50. The Chofetz Chayim, the great sage of Radin, says in the Pirkei Avos, we talk about from 30 years ben shloshim lekoach, and then ben arba'im lebina, and chamishim the Eitzah. And so the 40-year-olds, they have more understanding, and by 50 they give advice. So he says here that the cycle of man is based on the general 70-year range, is that each day corresponds to from the week corresponds to a decade in someone's life. And by the time someone reaches 50, they've completed the first 5 days of the week, and now they've hit Yom Shishi, Erev Shabbos. And it's a message for the people of this age, which really applies to any age, is to start preparing more for Olam Haba, for Shabbos Kodesh, the time when we no longer can do our work, the time that we can no longer do our mitzvos. And that the one who's 40 years old, the difference between the Bina there is that by the time he hits 50, he's got a little bit more knowledge, and that's where people start asking them for advice. The Chofetz Chayim says he should remember to take over his own advice and to prepare for the future now that he's reached that prime age of 50 years old. Now, I heard something Rabbi Shlomo Farhi that he shared from a professor, presumably this professor was over 50, but maybe not, and he gave the following advice to students after he invited them all over for some coffee. He asked them what they, if they want coffee. They said, yeah, we want coffee. He went into the kitchen. Since he didn't have a complete set of one exact type of coffee mug, he brought out a whole motley crew of these things. Some were better shaped, some were bigger, some were smaller, some were fancier, some had logos, whatever it was. But he noticed that the people, they chose first the fanciest ones, the nicest ones, and they left behind the ones that didn't look so great. So he told them, I noticed that you selected, as is human nature, the best looking or fanciest cups. But the reality is the main part that you want to do is drink the coffee. And the coffee is going to stay the same essentially no matter which one of these mugs you drink from. When it comes to life, there's some people who have fancier parts. They have fancier homes, fancier jobs, fancier incomes, everything that's on the outside. But the main part of life is the coffee, or the coffee is really the main part of the coffee is life, and life is the main part, regardless of what the other attributes you have, that fancy car and the vacation. The main part is how you work on your life and you focus on your life. And he said that the happiest people in life are not those that have the best of everything. He says the happiest people in life are those that make the best out of everything. They always have a positive attitude. And with that, I wish you'd make the best Shavuos you've had and make the rest of your life the best life that you can have by focusing on making the best for everything and the best for everyone. Thank you for listening. Have a wonderful week, wonderful Shabbos, and a Chag Sameach.